Okay, so earlier I was working on the Hogwarts school laboratories, and I realized that I'd miscalculated how many items I needed to make the walls for the maze. I thought I had enough, and apparently I didn't. So I am in my guild hall. I just finished making, as you can see, I made a bunch of dividers, and I also made some half blocks of rusty metal because it turns out I needed a few need a few more of those as well. So we're going to go back to the maze, and we're going to pack these items in the moving crate. I have a specific way I like to pack a lot of items into the moving crate all at once, using the layout editor. It's a lot easier than, placing every item and then having to pack each item on its own. So, first thing I do is I enter the house and wait for the zoning lag to clear up. There we go. Then I save a without file because this is without the new items in the house. I like to move my items onto the hotbar so that I can just click the hotbar button and place the item instead of having to open my bags every time. So let's start placing them. I like to stack things, so here we go. Place. I have to admit, it was probably the very first time I ever spoke to Talk that I learned about putting the items on the hotbar, because I commissioned him to make me a bunch of items before I leveled my own carpenter. And when he placed them in the house, I was totally amazed by how quickly he was placing the items and how neatly. And he explained that you can drag the items onto the hotbar, click the hotbar number, and it will make the item appear in the game. I've been doing this ever since, so it's been quite a few years that I've used that trick, because I met Talk a long time ago. It was probably back in 2008 or so. Yeah. Here's my narrow or wide tall dividers. These are tall dividers. It really confuses me that all of these dividers of the same shape have different names. I mean, they're sometimes they're wide, sometimes they're short, sometimes they're tall, but there are also tall dividers that are the narrow ones. So I really do wish they would pick a naming convention and stick to it. It would make my life a lot easier when I'm trying to remember what item I'm looking for. But the workaround, of course, is just to remember what texture you're looking for and then just examine the item in the dressing room so you can see whether it's the shape you want it to be. I admit that more than once I have accidentally made the wrong shape divider because I used the wrong name. Okay, so all of our items are now in the house, so we will save a with macro. See, you can't see my chat window. It says layout saved successfully, so we know we actually did it, even though there was a little bit of lag going on. I'm going to go to the layout editor, file, open the with file. It was on the crate tab. So now we're going to do a diff. There's the without. And these are all of my 35 brand new items. As you can see, there's tall dividers and half blocks of rusty metal. So we're going to select everything. We're going to click the crate button, or the crate checkbox, and then we're going to click the crate button, save group, go back to game, click load working, and everything's in the moving crate. That was so easy. Alright, now that I have that done, I can actually get back to working on the maze. So, what I was doing earlier when I realized I ran out of blocks, or building blocks, was I was working on duplicating this right here to right here so that this room here would have all 4 walls when I put it up. So, oops, my mouse bounced around, so let's make sure we're getting the right item here. Pack it in the moving crate. We'll say without. The layout editor, hit the diff button. There are my lovely 2 rhodium dividers. Duplicate, and look at that, we actually do have enough. We need to send it 12 units to the west. Save it. In game, we will load working, and now there are 4 walls here. I think I'm going to have to change my streaming settings just a little bit because I'm getting a bit of lag again, which is not fun, but unfortunately my upload settings are so low, or upload speed is so low, that I have to lower my settings quite a bit for the game, so it doesn't look very good. Luckily, the YouTube recording will be much better quality because it doesn't have that issue. Alright. Now, oh, this is going to be a fligger room. And it's a fligger room that goes up 1 story. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to copy a fligger room and then raise it to where it needs to be, because this room actually goes up to the 4th floor. Yes, there are so far 3 floors in the maze, and this will be the first room to have a 4th floor. So this is a fligger room. I can tell because I built it, so I know what it looks like from the outside. So we're going to copy the fligger room. I have to think about the word fligger every time I say it because it's such a strange word. Maybe I'll just start calling it a bouncy box. It's a bouncy box room. Just scroll my camera in because it's not letting me click. There we go. We want everything here. Let's see, this room here, on the 1st floor we already have 2 of the blocks, so we don't need a block to the east and a block to the south. So that would be these 2 right here. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. However, we do need this one because this doesn't exist in the other rooms. So we're going to pack that. And pack that so we don't forget. Now let's pack all of the doorway, the door frame, and the lever. On the one hand, it takes a lot of time to pack things like this, but on the other hand, it is so much faster than trying to rebuild this room from scratch every single time. So, I don't mind spending that extra time packing items in the crate when it means that I don't have to calculate where everything goes over and over and over again. It actually took me shoot, I did not want to pack that. Oh well, we will fix that later. So yeah, it actually took me a full probably 8 hours to build the first mock-up of a room that I wanted. Both, well, two rooms, the Fligger room and the lab room, because I had to sit there and calculate the doorways and figure out what items I wanted to use and figure out what scale each item needed to be in order to make everything perfectly textured so that there were no seams. It was, like I said, it was pretty time consuming. I actually, I spent all day thinking, wow, I'm getting so much done on this maze. And then dinner time rolled around and I went to stop working on the maze, and I sat back at my computer after dinner and I thought, I've only built 2 rooms this entire time. That's kind of ridiculous. But the good news is, building those 2 rooms allowed me to easily create all of the other rooms in the maze. So I'd say that it was time well spent, even if it was more time than I expected it to take. And sometimes you do stuff and you feel like you didn't manage any progress at all, but if you take a step back and look at it a little later, you realize that the progress you did manage to make was necessary to keep working, and it makes things easier in the long run. So that's everything, including one item I didn't actually want to pack in the crate, but that happens sometimes. So I'll click the without button, go to the layout editor, do a diff, save it. Let's reload it before we do anything else, because I don't like to accidentally leave things in the moving crate. The very first tower I ever built in EQ2, it was actually my second project with the layout editor. I didn't know how to use the diff button, and so I was building a tower and I kept accidentally packing the tower in the moving crate because of the method I was using to find out which items were the new items. It involved packing things in the moving crate. I actually don't even remember how it worked at this point, but I kept accidentally packing my tower away, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world. I almost gave up on the layout editor, which is when Talk, once again, taught me, tried to convince me to use the new from diff button. It was actually, though, Raccuno who taught me the new from diff button. Talk tried, and I didn't understand it, but Talk had taught Raccuno. Raccuno managed to explain it in a method that I understood, and I have not looked back since. When Jester changed new from diff to just the diff button, I switched to that, and I'm very happy I did, because it makes life so much easier. Alright, so I copied the Fligger room, and now I'm going to move the copy 12 units to the east. And actually, I also need to move it 5 units up because it's not on the same floor as the other Fligger room that I copied. So let's save that. And we will say load working in game. There it goes. Slowly. The more items you load at once, the slower the build is, and oh, looks like I copied several items I didn't need to. Let's see, are there 2 blocks here? Yes, there are 2 blocks here, so I'm going to pack 1 in the moving crate. And there are 2 blocks here, as you can see, so I'm going to pack 1 in the moving crate. Oops. Trying to get into the Fligger room so that I can take a look and see what other mistakes I made. Yes, I do make a lot of mistakes. The thing is, I just know how to fix them easily. Alright, come on. Land, enter the room. I'm very bad at navigating in EQ2. So, oh dear. How did I manage that? There's a hole right there. And I think that there's... Yes, there's a duplicated block right there. Ah! And I packed the door instead of the block. I'm not doing so well. Okay. Easy fix. We act like we just did a with and without. We say, okay, let's do the without. Go back to the layout editor. Do the diff button. Oh, poo. Well, that. I forgot to save the with beforehand. Alright, that doesn't work so well. Alright, the other thing we can do is simply load the working file that we loaded earlier. And that means we're going to have to fix one of the blocks up there. But you know what? We need one down here, so we're just going to say with. Pack this one in the moving crate. Say without. Do a diff button. And let's move this down 5 units. Load working. There we go. That fixes that one. And the one to the... Let's see. I think there was one right here too. Yes, there was. So let's save our with again, just in case I accidentally pack the wrong thing like I did earlier. Nope, that works. Okay. I love the sound the fligger makes, but it's probably a little bit annoying in the game. Nope, that's a door. That's a block. Okay. So I think I already saved the with file, but let's do that one more time just in case. Doesn't hurt to save it every single time you do something. And that's good. Okay. Let's check this. Goodness, I just duplicated blocks I did not need to duplicate right and left. Oh well. That's okay. Extra is better than not enough. Don't think I duplicated this one because I don't think there was one that existed. Yep, that one's good. Okay. And pretty sure that this one is the same way because it's the outside, I think. Yeah. Alright, so we're good. We have now created the first 4th floor room, as we can see by apparently we actually created another 3rd floor room because I was supposed to move it up 10 and not 5, and that explains why there were all those duplicates that shouldn't be there, and I just screwed everything up. Good news! Go to the layout editor, find the file that has everything in it. No, not this one. This one. And we're going to take all of these and we're going to say we want you to go up 5 units. Let's try this again. Load working. And there's still a block missing because, because I moved it. Something tells me that block is going to be downstairs. There it is. the block that I need. So we'll do it with, pack it in a moving crate, out, main, diff, without, let's go up 5, save group, load working, so that's going to be upstairs. Hit the escape to clear my mouse so that I can land. That takes care of that. Alright, let's check. So I really should only have one extra block, and I no longer remember where that extra block should be. I think it was this one right here. Right click, move. Yep, there it is. Okay, so with pack in moving crate. Now we're good. Let's just do a check just in case, because obviously I made a mistake earlier. Oops, that's not a block. It's a good thing I saved the with. Let's say without. I'm having a lot of trouble today. And I want the one further to the west. So east-west, the further positive it is, which in this case is this one. So we'll just pack this one into the moving crate, and we'll see if doing this causes it to reappear. Yes, we're good. I do misclick a lot, so that's another reason for having all of the saving of the with files so that I can just work with the one I need. Alright, so now we should be in the first ever fourth floor room. Yep. There we go. That's perfect. Alright, thanks for watching. I think I have to stop and take a break because doing that many errors in one span of time means that my brain is a little bit fatigued and I probably need to stop decorating for a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to contact me in-game or via email or Facebook. But please don't mail me in-game because I always run out of mail space. Alright, see you again whenever I get around to streaming.